Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king!
Bernardo!
He!
You come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francesca.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcella, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
Methinks I hear them now. Stand up! Unfold yourself!
French to this ground.
And leave him to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Holla, Bernardo.
Say, what? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcella.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not that belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, tush, 'twill not appear.
Sit down a while and let us once again still your ears that are so fortified against our story. What we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down and let us hear Bernardo speak of it.
Last night of all, Marcella and myself, the bell then beating 1.
Hey! First me off, look where it comes again!
Oh, in the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar, question it, Horatio.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like what harrows me with fear and wonder.
Question it, Horatio.
Oh, we would be spoke to.
What art thou that usurps this time and night together in that fair and warlike form in which his majesty of very Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
He stalks away.
Stay, speak, speak, I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone and will not answer.
Oh, now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you want?
Before my God, without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes, I might not this believe.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself. 'Tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour with martial stalk, hath this thing gone by our watch.
In what particular thought of work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. Soft! No, behold where it comes again. Cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that to thee may do ease and grace to me, speak of it. Stay, speak, speak, and charge thee. Stop it, Marcella!
Shall I strike it with my paws?
Do it if it will not
Oh,
stand.
'tis here!
'Tis here!
'Tis gone. We do it wrong at being so majestical to offer it the show of violence.
Break we our watch up, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen here tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit dumb to us will speak to him.
Let's do it, I pray. And I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, have we, as 'twere with the defeated joy, with mirth and funeral, and with dirge and marriage, taken to wife. For all our thanks. Now follows that you know, young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bonds of law to our most valiant brother. So much for him. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation, yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France. And bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have ye your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine. In thy best graces, spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much of the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy knotted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Not forever with thy vain lid, seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common. All witness must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
It be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam? Nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play. But I have that within which passeth show, these but the trappings of the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father. That father lost his, and a survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall, in all my best, obey you, madam.
That is a loving and fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself unto a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon 'gainst self-slaughter. God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it. Fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not but teem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember. Well, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month. Or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears, why she... God, a beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship!
I'm glad to see you well, Horatio. Or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. What make you from Wittenberg, Horatio?
Marcella!
My good lord?
I'm very glad to see you. Good evening, sir. And what make you in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere ye depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray you, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man taken for all in all. I will not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father?
Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear till I may deliver this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these sentinels, Marcella and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead vast in the middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he appeared before their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes. Within his truncheon's length, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, whereas they delivered both in time, form of thing, each word made true and good. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed. Indeed, friends, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight.
We do, my lord.
Armed, say you.
Armed, my lord.
What, looked he frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
And fixed his eyes upon you.
Most constantly.
Would I have been there?
It would have much amazed you.
Very like, very like. Stayed it long.
While one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
Well, I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still. I will requite your loves. So fare you well. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
Your loves is mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. And would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
my necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violence in the youth of primy nature. Forward, not permanent. Sweet, not lasting. The perfume and suppliance of a minute no more. Go!
No more but so.
Fake it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor cautel that must merge the virtue of his will, but you must fear. His greatness weighed, his will is not his own. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia! Fear it, dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affections, out of the shot and danger of desire.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart. But, good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny ways of heaven.
Whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of the lion's crest.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. But here, my father comes. Double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second.
Yes, here, Laertes. Aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There. My blessing with thee. And these two precepts in thy memory. Look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new unfledged, unhatched comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Costly in thy habit thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend. This, above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this with thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
Time invites you. Go.
Farewell, and, Ophelia, remember well what I've said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it he has said to you, Ophelia?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Many will be thought. 'Tis told me he has very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. What is it between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Oh, affection, pooh. You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe these tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby, that you obtain these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or not to crack the wind of the poor phrase runningeth us. You'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love and honorable fashion,
Oh, fashion you may call it. Go to.
and hath given countenance in his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Ah, springes to catch woodcocks. I
do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul ends the tongue vows. These places, daughter, giving more life than he's extinct in both, you must not take for fire. As for Lord Hamlet, believe so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk and be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vow. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slandered any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it! I charge you! Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. It draws near the season wherein the spirit held is wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse. And as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, marry is't. But to my mind, though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance. This heavy-headed rebel east and west makes us traduced and taxed of other nations. They clep us drunkards, and with swinish phrase soil our edition. And indeed it takes from our achievements, though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attribute.
Stop! The light comes again. Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou, spirit of health, or goblin damned. Bring with thee heirs from heaven or blast from hell. Be thy intent wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane. Answer me! Beckons you to go away with it as if some apartment did desire to you alone.
But with courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground. But do not go with it.
No, by no means.
I will not speak, then I will follow.
Do not, my lord.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again, I'll follow it.
Do not, my lord! But what if it tempts you towards the flood, or draws you towards the dreadful summit of the cliff, and there assumes some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it!
It waves me still! Go on, I'll follow thee!
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold up your hand! Be ruled, my lord!
Unhand me, gentlemen! By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me! I say away! Go on, I'll follow thee!
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him. Something is wrong in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Hey, let's follow him.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak! I'll go no further!
Mark me!
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I the sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost!
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak! I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast and fires till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I'm forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, and each individual hair to stand on end. This eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love,
Oh God!
revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder!
Murder most foul is the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I may sweep to my revenge.
I finally am. Now Hamlet here, 'tis given out sleeping, a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul! My uncle!
Aye, that traitorous villain, with witchcraft of his wit and traitorous gifts, No wicked witting Gibson has a power so to seduce. One to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. It's off. He thinks I scent the morning air. Grief, let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon this secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hippolyta in a vial. And in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distillment, which holds such enmity with the blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body. Which was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, life, proud, queen. Oh, horrible, most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not! Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest! But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. Adieu. Hamlet, remember me.
Remember thee. Aye, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all stores of books, all forms, all precious past that youth and observation copy there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven! O most pernicious woman. O villain. Villain. Smiling, damned villain. That one may smile and be a villain, at least I'm sure, and maybe so in Denmark. It is. Adieu, adieu, remember thee. I've sworn!
Hello, Hamlet!
My lord!
My lord!
Lord Hamlet! How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord. Tell it.
No. You'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord. By heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
But you'll be secret.
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You are the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is, and for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you. Heartily. Yes, thanks. Heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is a ratio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it!
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword!
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed! Swear! Ah, boy! Say'st thou so? What thou there? Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage? Consent to swear!
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword!
Swear!
Oh, well said, old mole!
Day and night, this is most wondrous strange.
Therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here, as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you know aught of me. This, not to do so grace and mercy, at your most need help you, swear!
Swear!
Rest perturbed spirit!
We swear!
With all my love, I do commend me to you. Let us go in together, but still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right.
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his collar all embraced, pale as his shirt, and his knees knocking with each other, and with the look so piteous and purport as if he had been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of my arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so, and at last with the shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound it seemed to raise his bulk and in his being. That done, he lets me go. And with his head over his shoulders turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. And out of doors he went without their help, since the last minute of their light onto me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property fordoes itself, and leads the will to desperate undertakings. I am sorry. Have you given him hard words of late?
No, good my lord, but as you did command, I did repel his fetters and deny his access to him.
Ah, that had made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle and meant to harm thee, but beshrew my jealousy. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, or being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome near Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? So call it. Since nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and together whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good citizens, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am, two friends there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a little while, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by your sovereign power of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
Heavens make our presence and our practices plentiful and helpful to him.
Amen.
My good lord, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think that, unless this brain of mine huts not the trail of policy so sure as it had used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That do I long to hear.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our hasty marriage.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, or what duty is. Why day is day, night night, and time is time. We're nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, I shall be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, call I it, for to define true madness, what is it to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
No matter with less art.
Oh, madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. A foolish figure, but forswear I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then. And now remains to find the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect. I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience has given me this. Now, gather and surmise. To the most celestial, my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. Well, that's an ill phrase, a vile phrase.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doth thou the stars are fire, doth that the sun doth move, doth truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Whilst this forevermore machine in him, Hamlet. This in her obedience hath my daughter shown me, and for more his solicitations, as they fell out by time, by means, and place, all given to mine ear. Do you think 'tis this?
It may be, very like.
Hath there been such a time, I'd fain know that, when I have positively said 'tis so? Will it be otherwise?
Not that I know.
But take this from this, if this be otherwise.
How may we try it further?
Sometimes he walks in the chapel 4 hours together, here in the chapel.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras then. Mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant for a state. We will try it.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes reeling.
Away, I beseech you, both of you, away, away. I will board him presently.
Barba non facit fallacium! Barba crescit caput nescit, etc., etc., etc.
How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God have mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well. You are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breeds maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun, for conception is a blessing. But as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it.
Oh, what? How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, far gone. And yet in my youth, I suffered much extremity for love. Getting near this, I'll speak to him again. What is it you read, my lord?
What? What?
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards. Their faces are wrinkled. Their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum. That they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams. Oh, all which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down, for yourself, sir, should be as old as I am, if like a crab you could go backwards.
Though this be madness, there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
That is indeed out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. I'll leave him here.
suddenly contrive a means of a meeting between him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all. Except my life. Except my life. Except
My
life.
Very well, my lord.
69 bottles of wine in the church! 69 bottles of wine!
Tedious.
Get down, you better run! 69 bottles of wine in the church!
Go to see the Lord Hamilton there. He is.
Oh, God save you, sir.
Most gracious Lord!
Dear Lord!
My excellent good friends! Guildenstern! How does thee? Rosencrantz. Good lads. How do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Aye, happy in that we are now over happy. On fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors.
Faith for privates, we.
What news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question you more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark is a prison.
And is the world one?
A goodly one in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst.
I think not so, my lord.
Why then 'tis none to you. For there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why then, your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself king of infinite space. Not that I have bad dreams. But, in the beaten way of friendship, what make you an Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come. Nay, speak!
What should I say, my lord?
Anything but to the purpose! You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth. Be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
If you love me, hold not. Oh.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen molts no feather. I have, of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air. Look you! This brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason. How infinite in faculty. In form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. Beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me.
Oh!
No, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what lights and entertainment the players shall receive from you. We quoted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
What players are they?
Even those you are wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
These are the players.
Cousins, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands, come then. You are welcome, but my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what way, my lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well be with you all.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you two, at each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there, I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Master! You are welcome, welcome. I'm very glad to see you well. Oh, my old friend. My face is valid since I saw thee last. Comes thou to beard me in Denmark? What?
My young lady and mistress?
My lady, your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last. Great God, your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast. It is not so? Begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arm, black as his purpose, did the night resemble when he lay couched of the ominous horse. Hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal, head to foot with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted with the parching streets that lent a tyrannous and damned light to their lord's murder, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles. The hellish Pyrrhus old grandsire Priam seeks. So proceed you.
Before God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon, he finds him, striking two short-head Greeks. His antique sword rebellious to his arm lies where it falls. Pyrrhus at Priam drives, enraged, strikes wide! With the wift and wind of his felt sword, the unnerved father falls. And with the hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear, for lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But as we often see, against some storm as silent in the heavens, the rack stands still as hush as death. Anon, the dreadful thunder doth rend the region, so after Pyrrhus' prowess, aroused vengeance sets him new a work, and never did the Cyclops' hammer fall with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam!
This is too long.
Prithee, say on. He is for a jig or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
Who had seen the mobile queen?
Oh, that's good, mobile queen, that's good.
Run barefoot, up and down, threatening the flames. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
Look what he has not turned his color, and has tears in his eyes. Oh, I pray you, no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see the actors well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you had better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's podkins, man, much better. Use every man after his deserts, and who should escape whipping? Take them in. Come, sirs. Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord. And look, you mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsa.
Good, my lord.
Aye. So God be with you. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing? For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pate across, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Swoons. I should take it, for it cannot be that I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make impression bitter, or ere this I should have fattened all the region's kites with the slave's awful. Bloody, body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! What an ass am I. This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fie on it! Oh, about my brains. I have heard the guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on his confusion? Grading so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy.
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof when we bring him onto some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we are at on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and as I think they have already ordered this night to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter. With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good, gentle friends, give him a further edge and drive his purpose onto these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too. For we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may hear affront Ophelia. The father and myself, lawful espiles, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge if it be the affliction of his love or no that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again to both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, if you please, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that such a show of exercise may color his loneliness. Oh, I hear him coming. Let us withdraw, my lord.
Nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die. To sleep. No more. And by asleep, to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die. Sleep. To sleep. Chance to dream. Aye. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with disregard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now. The fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have long and longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No. Not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed has made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again. For to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I'm very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are arrant knaves, all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
May the doors be shut upon him that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help on you, sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or, if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool. The wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him.
I have heard of your paintings well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp. Nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. I'll no more on. Go to. It hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
What a noble mind here overthrown. And I, of ladies most dejected and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason. Like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh, that form and feature blown youth blasted with ecstasy. Woe is me. See have I seen. See what I see.
Love! His affections do not that way tend. Nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, and I do doubt the hatch. In the disclose will be some danger, which, for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England. Haply, the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his heart. What think you want?
It shall do well. Yet I do think the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fixed after the play, let his queen mother alone get him to express his grief, and let her be round with him. And I'll be placed, so it please you, within ear of all their conference. If she find him not, send him to England, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness and great ones must not unwatched go.
Oh no, how heavy this pen
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue.
Trippingly on the tongue.
But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as leave the town crier spoke my lines. Lord, do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Be Be not too tame, neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action. With this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was, and is, to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of time his form and pressure. Now, this overdone, or come tardy off, though it make the unskillful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of which one must, in your allowance, o'erweigh a whole theatre of others. Now there be players that I have seen play, and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that having neither the accent of Christian, nor the gait of Christian, pagan, or man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably.
Well, I hope that we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Reform it altogether. And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. Go! Make you ready. How now, my lord? Will the king see this piece of work?
And the queen, too, and that present.
Bid the players make haste.
Hello.
Will you two help to hasten them?
We shall, my lord.
What ho, Horatio!
Yes, sweet lord. At your service.
Thou art e'en as just a man as e'er my conversation coped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter. Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice, and could of men distinguish, her election hath sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been as one that in suffering all that suffers nothing. A man that fortune's buffets and rewards has ta'en with equal thanks, and blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commingled that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There's a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest the act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we had seen. For mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he still ought to us this play is plain and scape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They're coming to the play? I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, i'faith. Of the chameleon's dish, I eat the air promised cram. You cannot beat capon, so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. My lord, you played once at the university, you say.
That did I, and was considered a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord. They stay upon your patience.
Hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive. Lady, shall I lie in thy lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
I, my lord.
Why, what should a man do but be married? Or look you, how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Oh heavens! Died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet, then there's hope. A great man's memory may outlive his life half a year. Oh.
For us and for our tragedy, stooping to your clemency, beg you hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue or the posy of a race?
Brief, my lord.
As woman's love?
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash and Tellus' orbit crowned. Since love our hearts and Hymen did our hands unite commutual and most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count, or ere love be done. Oh, but woe is me! You are all so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state. Now, what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is soon.
Faith, I must leave thee, loved, shortly too. My operant powers their function leave to do. For thou art living, for thou art living this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and happily one as kind. For husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such loves must needs be treason in my breast. For second time I kill my husband dead. When second husband kisses me in bed.
Wormwood, wormwood.
I do believe you think now what you speak, but what we do determine oft we break. The most necessary 'tis that we forget to pay ourselves what to ourselves is debt. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth give me food, nor heaven light, sport and repose lock from me day and night. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be wife.
She should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Hey, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep, rock thy brain. And never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
No, they do but jest. Poison in jest. No offense to the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the duke's name. His wife, Baptista, you shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work. But what of that? Your Majesty, and we that have free souls, it touches us not. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You're as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dally. Begin, murderer!
Trippingly on the tongue, trippingly on the tongue, trippingly on the tongue.
Hark! Leave thy damnable faces and begin.
Thoughts black, hands zapped, drugs fit, and time agreed. Confederate season, no snow creature seeing. Thou mixed your rank with midnight weeds collect. Hecate been thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and thy your property on wholesome life usurp immediately. unwholesome life usurp immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murder against the love of Gonzago's wife.
King rises.
What? Tried it with false fire.
Give all the play!
Give me some light. Away.
Oh, good Horatio!
I'll take the gun for 1,000 pounds.
Very well, my lord.
Upon the top of the
I
point.
did very well note him.
Ha! Come, some music.
Good, my lord. The vouchsafe me a word with you.
Aye, sir, a whole history.
The king, sir.
Aye, sir, what of him?
He is in his retirement, marvellous distempered.
With drink, sir? Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly for my affair. I am tame. Pronounce. The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you. You are welcome.
Nay, my good lord, this conversation is not of the right breed. If it would please you to give me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's command. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot. What, my lord? Give you a wholesome answer.
My wit's diseased.
But such an answer as I can make, you shall command. Therefore, no more, but to the matter. My mother, you say?
Then thus she says, your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
A wonderful son that can so astonish a mother.
She desires to speak with you ere you go to bed.
We shall obey were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So I do still. By these pickers and stealers.
Good, my lord. What is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if I may be so bold, my love was too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your fingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
Look, but cannot I command these to any utterance of harmony? I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and yet there is much music, excellent voice of this Lord. You cannot you make it speak! Blood, do you think I'm more easy to be played on than a pipe? Oh, God bless you, sir!
The queen, my lord, will speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in the shape of a camel?
By the mass, it is like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me! Friends. Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now, could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on? Soft. Now to my mother. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I'll speak daggers to her, but use none.
safe with us to let his madness rage. Therefore prepare you. I, your commission, will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you.
We will ourselves provide a most holy and religious fear it is to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
The cease of majesty dies not alone, but like a gulf doth draw what's near it with it. Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan.
Arm you, I pray you, to the speedy voyage.
We will haste us.
We will haste us.
Smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon't. Brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. My fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer may serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, my own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offense's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft is seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give it evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can? What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Help, angels. Make us say. Bow, slap a knee, and hot with strings of steel be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it, Pat. Now he is a-praying, and now I'll do it, and so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven? But this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, as flush as May. And how his audit stands, whom knows save heaven. But in our circumstance and course, I thought 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid head. He is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, and drinking, swearing, or about some act that hath no relish of salvation in't. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go. He will come straight. Look you lay home to him. And
And tell him that his pranks have become too broad to bear with, and that your grace has stood and screened between much heat and him. I'll scotch me even here. I pray you be round with him.
I warrant you, fear me not.
Mother!
It's all here in
Okay.
common.
Mother! Now, Mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Have you forgotten me?
No, by the rude, not so. You are the queen, your brother's husband's wife, and would it were not so, you are my mother.
Sentenced to the cast.
Come, sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I have set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! Help! Help!
Oh, help!
Oh, help!
A rat! Dead for a ducat! Dead!
Oh! I am slain!
Oh, me, what hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this?
Bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
Is kill a king?
Aye, lady. 'Twas my word. Oh, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool! Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Thou find'st to be too busy is some danger. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace! Sit you down and let me wring your heart, for so I shall if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there.
I mean, what act that rolls so loud and soundless in the index?
Look here upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow, a combination and a form indeed where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now, what follows? Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you, on this fair mountain, leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Shame, where is thy blush?
Heaven, speak no more, that turns mine eyes into my very soul. And there I see such black and crimson spots as will not leave it.
But to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love on a nasty sty.
No more these words like daggers in my ears.
A murderer, and the cutpurse of the empire and the rule, that from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches. Save me and hover me over with your heavenly wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure? Do you not come your tardy son to chide that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Say.
Do not forget. This visitation is to but whet thy almost blunted purpose. Look, amazement on thy mother sits. Step between her and her fighting spirit. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy and with the incorporeal air to hold his course. O gentle son, upon the heated flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cold patience, whereon do you look?
On him.
Oh,
on him. Look you how pale he glares. Do not look upon me!
Do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all. Yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear?
Nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you there! Look where it steals away! My father in his habit, how he lived! Look where he goes in now, out of the portal!
This is a very coinage of your brain. This marvelous creation, ecstasy, is very cunning in.
Ecstasy! My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time and makes as healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered! Confess thyself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast left my heart in twain.
Throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. And when you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For this same man I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. And so again, good night. I must be cruel, only to be kind. This bad begins and worse remains behind. One word more, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this, that I bid you do. By no means let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, or for a pair of reechy kisses, make you to ravel all this matter out, that I am essentially not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England. You know that.
Alack, I had forgot to so concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work. This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, that was in life a foolish prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Translate as fit we understand them. Where is your son?
This place are not a little while. Oh, my Lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as sea and wind when both contend which is the mightier. In his lawless fit behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out his weapon, cries, a rat, and in his brainish apprehension, kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all. To you, yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how should this bloody deed be answered? Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he hath killed. He weeps for what is done.
The sun no sooner should the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. In this vile deed we must with all our majesty and skill both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern! friends, both. Go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, hasten this. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and tell them both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. Oh, come away! My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Safely stowed.
Hamlet!
What noise?
Hamlet!
Who calls on Hamlet? Here they come.
What, my lord? Now have you done with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust whereto 'tis kin.
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge.
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, miss, that soaks up the king's counsel, his rewards, his authorities. But such officers do the king best service at the end. He keeps you, like an ape, the corner of his jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed. And when he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you. And sponge you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
How now? What hath befallen?
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper!
At supper? Where?
Well, not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are e'en at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves from maggots.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of that fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing, but to show how a beggar may go a progress through the guts of a king.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send hither to see. But if your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. Oh! But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till ye come.
Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself for
England!
Aye, Hamlet.
Good!
So is it if thou knewst our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
A loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. For mother and father are man and wife. And man and wife are one flesh. And so, my mother! Come, for England.
Follow him afoot. Tempting with speed aboard. Delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. Away! For everything is sealed and done that else leans on the affair. Pray you, make haste. Do it, England! For like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
Please you go,
occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss in us unused. Now whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered hath but 1 part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know why I yet live to say this thing's to do. Sith, I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Rightly, to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep? Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, will be nothing worth.
I will not speak with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems and beats her heart. Spurns enviously at straw, speaks things in doubt that care, but half sense. Her speech is nothing yet, the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They aim at it and batch the words up fit to their own thoughts.
'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. My sick soul sends to bitterness. Each toy seems prologue to some great amiss. So full of artless jealousy as guilt, fears itself inferior to be spun.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
Oh, now I feel you.
Toot Leota, how shall your true love know from another one? Buy his cockle hat and stab a sandal shoon.
Alas, lady, what imports this song?
Say you, nay, pray you, mark. He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head, a grass green turn. At his heels, a stone.
Ophelia.
Pray you, mark. Wait his shroud as a mouse now larded with sweet flowers, which be wept to the grave did go with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God yield you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Woo! Lord, we know what we are. We know not what we may be. God be at your table. Woo!
Conceit upon a father.
Pray you must have no words in this. But when they ask you what it means, say this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. All in the morn is the time. And I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and gone, closed and jumped the chamber door. Let in a maid, that out of maid, never departed nor indeed, la, without an oath, I'll make an end on it. Righteous and by Saint Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock they are to blame. Quoth she, but before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I have done by yonder sun if thou hadn't not come my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but to weep. To think that they would lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of this, and so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coat. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude, Gertrude. When sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain, next your son gone, and he most violent author of his own just remove. The people muddied, thick and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers for good Polonius' death. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment. Last, and as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret come from France, feeds on his wonder, keeps himself in clouds, and wants not buzzards to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death.
Sir, you can't, sir.
What's the matter? The doors are broken.
Oh, thou vile king! Give me my father!
Comely, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's come proclaims me bastard! Cries cuckold to my father, brands the harlot even here, between the chaste unsmirched brow of my true mother.
What's the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear a person. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed. Let him go, Gertrude!
Where is
Speak,
my
man.
father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance. Vows to the blackest devil. I dare damnation. Let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly from my father.
Who shall stay you?
My will, not all the world.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, yest written your revenge that swoop stake you will draw both friend and foe?
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
To his good friends. Thus wide I ope my arms.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensible in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment peer as day does to your eye.
No,
Do
not
not let her in like
What noise is that?
Let her come in!
He dry my brains. Rosa, hey, dear maid.
kind sister. Sweet Ophelia. Is it possible a young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old man's life?
They bore him barefaced on the bier, and in his grave ring many a tear. Fare you well, my dove, but you must sing a downer, and you call him a downer. Oh, how the wheel becomes it!
There's nothing more than matter.
There's rosemary. It's for remembrance. Pray you, love. Remember. And there's pansies. That's for thoughts.
Document in madness. Thoughts and remembrance.
There's fiddle for you and columbines. There's rue for you. And here's some for me. But you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I'd have given you violets, but they all withered when my father died. They said he made a good end. For Bonnie, sweet Robin,
God and affliction, passion, hell itself, she turns to favor and praise.
Will he not come again? Will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Come to thy deathbed. He never will come again. God have mercy on his soul. And to all Christian souls, I pray God. God be with you.
You see this? Oh, God!
Laertes, I must commune with your grief. Be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it to content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, cry to be heard as were from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
So you shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
Horatio, ere we were 2 days at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow a sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy. Let the king have the letters that I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak, and thine ear will make thee dumb. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that thou knowest thine. Hamlet.
Now must your conscience my acquittance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friend. You have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
Well appears. Tell me why you proceeded not against these feats, so crimeful and so capital in nature.
Oh, for 2 special reasons. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. And for myself, she's so conjunctive to my life and soul that, as the star moves not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive why to a public count I might not go is the great love the general gender bear him, who, dipping all his faults in their affection, convert his jibes to graces, so that my arrows would have reverted to my bow again, and not where I'd aimed them.
And so have I a noble father lost, and a sister driven into desperate terms, but my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your father, and we love ourselves. That, I hope, shall teach you to imagine. How now, what news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This to your majesty, this to the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not. He received them with Claudio, and he received them with him that brought them.
You shall hear them, Laertes. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what should this mean?
I am lost in it, my lord, but let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord, so you'll not overrule me to a peace.
To thine own peace. If he be now returned, I will work him to an exploit now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death, no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. You have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing for a quality wherein they say you shine. 2 months since, he was a gentleman of Normandy. He made confession of you, and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier most especially, that he cried out, 'Twould be a sight indeed if one could match you. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming over to play with him.
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you?
Why ask you this?
Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself your father's son in deed more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
Revenge should know no bounds. But good Laertes, Hamlet return shall know you are come home. We'll put on those shall praise your excellence and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a passive practice, requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for the purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataclysm so rare can save the thing from death, that is but scratch withal. I'll touch my blade with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think on this if this should last in proof. Soft, let me see. When in your motion you are hot and dry, and then he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. Stay, noise. How now, sweet queen?
One more doth tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Where?
There is a willow grows aslant a brook. Shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she go, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, long purples. Liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do. Dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant boughs, coronet weeds clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping broke. The clothes spread wide, and murmured like a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature, native and endued into that element. Long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pull the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then, she is drowned.
Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, therefore I forbid my tears. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fate would blaze, but this folly drops in.
Let's follow Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again.
buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation.
I tell thee she is. The crowner hath sat on her and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be, unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. And here stands the man. Good. Now, if the man come to the water and drown himself, it is willy-nilly. He goes. Mark you that. But if the water comes to him and drowns him, he drowns not himself. Argyle, he who is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
Well, you have the truth, Aunt. If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried after Christian burial.
Why, so thou sayest, and the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more so than they're even Christian. Oh, there is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
Oh, he was the first to ever bear arms.
Why, he had none.
What? Art thou a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture said Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee, and if thy answer me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Oh, go to.
Now, what is he that builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker. For that frame, I'd lose 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well. Oh, in faith, the gallows does well. But how does it do well? It does well to those that do ill. And now thou dost still to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well by thee. To it again, come!
Who built stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and unyoke.
Barry? Now I can tell.
To it!
Mass!
There. Cudgel thy brains no more about it. And when you're asked this question next, say, the grave maker. The houses he builds last till doomsday. Now go. Get thee to yon and fetch me a stoop of liquor. Get the clay for to be made, for such a life is need. A pickaxe and a spade, and for a shrouding sheet.
Is this fellow the feeling for his business that he sings at Paul making? Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness. I shall speak with this fellow. Whose box is this, Sarah?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
Thou liest out of it, sir. And yet it is not thine. For my part, I do not lie in it, and yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it to be in it, and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away gain from me to you.
What man did thou make it for?
For no man, sir.
What woman, then?
None neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir. But rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. How long hast thou been undertaker?
Of all the days of the year, I came back to the day that our last king, Hamlet, overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. 'Twas the very day that young Hamlet was born. He who's mad and sent into England.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent into England?
But because he's mad. Oh, he'll regain his wits there, or if he doesn't, it's no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. For there, the men are all as mad as he.
How came he mad? Upon what ground?
Upon the ground here in Denmark. Now, I have been sexton here for a man and youth 30 years.
How long will a man lie of the earth ere he rot?
If he not be rotten before he die, he will last you some 8 years or 9 years. A tanner will last you 9 years.
Why he more than another?
Sir, his hide is so tanned with his profession that he'll keep out water a great while. And water is a sore decayer of your whoresome dead body. Here's the skull now. This skull has lain in the earth for 23 years.
Whose was it?
Oh, a whoresome mad fellow he was. Whose do you think it was?
Hey, I know not.
Pestilence on him for a mad rogue. Pooh! Poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This very same skull, sir, is Yorick's skull. The king's jester.
Yes.
Hear that?
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on the roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning? Quite chapfallen. Now get you to my lady's chamber. Tell her let her paint an inch thick. To this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, answer me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Do you think Alexander looked at this fashion of the earth?
Even so, my lord.
And smelt so.
Even so.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio. The soft aside. The king. Queen, the courtiers. Who is this that they follow? Couch we a while at mark.
Ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth, mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far and large as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but for the great commander who sways the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet.
Is there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead, to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace-parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring.
I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What the Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet. Oh well. I hope I should have been my Hamlet's wife. I felt I ride there to a deck, sweet maid, and not to have strewed thy
Treble woe, full 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose whose most wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee. Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once again in my eyes. Oh, now follow you dust on the quick and dead.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded heroes? This is I, Hamlet the Dane!
The devil take thy soul! No, pray is not well!
Do something!
I'm breathing, take thy fingers from my throat! Be quiet, my lord!
Why, I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer reply!
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia! 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my son. What wilt thou do for her?
No, he is mad, Laertes.
Show me what thou do. Would fight, would fast, would weep, would tear thyself, I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be very quick with her, and so shall I. What is the reason that you use me thus? I did love you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
Pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him.
Strengthen your patience. Speech. Put the matter to the present push. The Gertrude, set some watch over your son. The grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceeding be.
There's a divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hew them how we will.
That is most certain.
Up from my cabin groped I to find out them. Had my desire, fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to mine own room again, where, unsealing their grand commission, I found Horatio. Royal knavery, an exact command, larded with many several sorts of reasons importing Denmark's health and England's too. My head should be struck off.
It is possible.
Here's the commission, read it at more leisure. But wilt thou hear me how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
I sat me down, devised a new commission, an earnest conjuration from the king, wrote it fair, as England was his faithful tributary, as love between them like the palm might flourish, and many such like ases of great charge, that on the view and knowing of these contents, he should the bearers put to sudden death.
So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Why, man, they did make love to disemployment. They are not near my conscience.
What a king is this?
He that hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cozenage. Is it not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm? And is it not to be damned to let this canker of our nature come in further evil?
It must be shortly known to him from England what is the issue of business there.
It will be short. The interim is mine. But I am very sorry, good Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself. But by the image of my cause I see the portraiture of his. I'll court his favors, but sure the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion.
Peace! Who comes here?
Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to its right use. 'Tis for the head.
I thank your lordship. It is very hot.
No, believe me, 'tis very cold.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
But yet methinks it is very sultry and hot for my complexion.
Exceedingly, it is very sultry, my lord. Sir, his majesty bade me signify to you that he hath laid a great wager upon your head. Sir, this is the matter.
I beseech you, remember.
Nay, good my lord. For my knees, in good faith. Sir, here is newly come to court Laertes. You are not ignorant what excellence Laertes is. I mean, sir, for his weapon.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's 2 of his weapons, but, well.
The king hath laid that in a dozen passes between yourself and he, that he shall not exceed you 3 hits. And it would come to immediate trial if you would but vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here, at the church. If it please his majesty, the gentleman willing and the king hold his purpose, I'll win for him and I can. If not, I gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours. Yours.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. But thou wouldst not know how ill all's here about my heart. But it is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery.
If your mind dislikes anything, obey it.
I will forestall their repair hither and say
You are not fit.
not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Let be.
Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me.
Pardon me, sir, I've done you wrong. But pardoned, as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done, I here proclaim was madness. Was it Hamlet wronged Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from himself be ta'en away, and when he's not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? His madness. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I do receive your offered love like love and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the foils, come on.
Give him the foils, young Osric.
One for me?
Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace hath laid the odds of the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both, but since he is bettered, we have therefore odds. Send me the stoops of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, quit in answer answer of the third exchange, a king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cup. Come, begin.
Come on, sir.
My lord.
One. No. Judgment. A hit. A very palpable hit.
Well, again. Stay. Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come. Another hit. What say you?
Touch and you confess.
A son shall win.
He spat and scamped and breath. Here, Hamlet, take my knife and rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poison. Drink. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Here, let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
To think it is almost against my conscience.
Come for a third, Laertes, you do but dally. I pray you, pass with your best violence. I am afeard you make a wanton of me.
Say so.
Now. Nothing, neither way.
I've got you now! Put them there at 6!
Nay! Come again. Look to the queen there! They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord? How is it, Laertes?
Justly killed by my own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoops to see the bleed.
And drink! And drink.
Villainy! Let the doors be locked! Treachery! Seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, begging to rise. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
The point, envenomed too, envenomed to thy purpose.
How you defend me, friends? I am not hurt.
Thou murderous, incestuous, damned Dane! Drink off this potion! Thy union here! Follow my mother!
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, Zina.
Heaven make thee free of it.
follow thee. Had I but time, as this fell sergeant death is strict in his arrest, I could tell thee. But it is no matter. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied. Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. There's still yet some liquor left. If thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go by heaven, I'll have it. God. Horatio. What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If ever thou didst hold me in thy heart, in this harsh world, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. What warlike noise is this?
Young Fortinbras come with conquest from Poland.
He has my dying breath. The rest is silence. Cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. Flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Where is this sight?
What is it you would see? A vault of woe, a wonder, cease your search.
For it cries on havoc. O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell that so many princes at a shot so bloodily has struck?
Let me speak to this yet unknowing world of how these things came about. So shall you hear of bloody, carnal, and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments and casual slaughters, of deaths put on by cunning and forced means, and in this upshot, purposes mistook, fallen on inventors' heads. Oh, this can I truly deliver.
And let us haste to hear it, and call the noblest to the audience. For me, with sorrow I embrace my fortune. I have some rights of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my vantage doth invite me.
That I shall have also cause to speak. From his mouth, whose voice will draw on more.
Let 4 captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to the stage, for he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royally. And for his passing, soldiers' music and the rites of war sing loudly for him. Take up the bodies. Such a sight as this becomes the field, and here shows much of this.